Everybody, welcome back to the Getting It Wrong podcast, where we unlearn harmful ideals, beliefs, and ideologies that we might be holding on to, and we get practical ways to live a more holistic and balanced lifestyle. And we embrace our mistakes here because getting it wrong is the first step to getting it right. I am your co-host, Gabby.
And I'm Morgan. Let's get into it. Hi, everybody. So welcome to our Must Know Monday. We didn't get very many suggestions on what to change it to. So as of this week as well, it is a Must Know Monday.
How y'all feel Must Know Monday. It doesn't matter. If they didn't like it, they should have said something.
We gave you the chance, okay? No, but so we have a couple of things we're going to talk about today. One is going to be a show review, and then one is also an article that I came across actually earlier today. I sent it to Gabby. Basically, let me pull up the info. So there was an article on Wall Street Journal, and we're kind of getting into, it says that middle age can be lonely. Moms in this often overlooked age group are struggling to find meaningful connections. Social media has made me feel less isolated, but more lonely. That's a quote. So I don't know how you feel about that. I think, because that's kind of interesting. It's especially during this time period, like with COVID, I think a lot of us can relate to that. How do you feel about that, Gabby?
I can relate, especially like growing up with having access to so much social media. It's easy to get isolated. It's like you feel like you're connected to people, but you're not really connecting on the level that you need to with social media. It's like, as a human, you need face-to-face interaction. You need to be able to see people, feel people, and without that kind of connection, it can be lonely. So and the pandemic made that very, very clear.
It definitely did. It was it's kind of like you're watching people on TV in a way. It's like, okay, I can relate to that, but I'm not experiencing anything with someone. And that's like a connection that I think we need those connections. We need that interaction with people. And I think especially as moms, like they were saying specifically middle-aged moms, which I can't relate to. We can't necessarily relate to, but we can,
like 40.
They said between 41 and 55, which is kind of they're getting into the empty nesters. They have high schoolers. Their kids don't need them in the same way that they used to, which I don't know. It makes me sad to hear that, but I feel that's a whole another aspect of womanhood that I don't understand yet. And but I can definitely see where that can be lonely, especially if you put all your life into your kids, and then you're getting to a point where now you have to worry about what are you going to do with the rest of your life. Being an empty nester is scary.
Well, I'm something we can learn from that is maybe you shouldn't be putting your life into your children.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So, because once they leave, it's either you or you and your husband. And it's you have to know who you are outside of your children, or you will be lonely. You will be lost. That's an important thing to talk about. That's something that people don't talk about enough. It's people talk about the empty nest, but the empty nest syndrome, or, that feeling of loneliness, but it's how do you prevent that?
Right. And I think this is the time, like where we're at now, being like new moms, young moms. I think we can put that, effort into like really being intentional about like trying to make those connections now. Because they said stuff like, oh, I focused on my kids so much. Or there was a specific mom in the article saying that she was a stay-at-home mom and she was homeschooling her kids. So she didn't necessarily like meet moms at the school, like, things that we might get to do. So I think we have that opportunity now to try and make those connections at, where we're at. And I think we've both done that. We are, like involved in certain ways. Like, I think, well, of course, we're both Deltas, you can make that connection that way. And then also, I think we both like we get to go in office to work. I mean, I think that that's a way to make connections. But I mean, I think we get that opportunity more than some of the like stay-at-home moms, which I can definitely relate to. I think we've both been there as well. We've both been, stay-at-home moms trying to find those connections. I think actually, Gabby, you went about it a different way than I think most people do or think to do.
What did I do? What are we talking about?
Okay. Like you specifically, like you were like, I'm gonna make connections. You went like on like
Bumble?
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And you were like, I'm gonna make some friends. Because moving out somewhere is harder to make friends.
It is harder to make friends. And I was like, I'm sad and I'm lonely and I don't want to be sad and lonely. So what can I do to not be sad and lonely? And I was like, if I'm staying at home, I have to make friends somehow. I tried mom groups, very cliquish, didn't really like it. So I decided to get on Bumble, and I actually made a friend on Bumble that is still my friend to this day.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is pretty cool because we are going to have her as a guest on the podcast. I don't know if I should be saying it right now, but I'm excited.
I don't know, but yeah, we can say it because it is super exciting.
But maybe we can talk more about it later.
Okay, let's do that.
But stay tuned, guys.
Yes, but I think that was a brave move. I was lonely as well. Like I didn't think to do that. I mean, I went and joined like Mocha Moms, which is the moms group. Specifically like a lot of women of color joined that group. And I enjoyed it. Like we got out, we did things, like we had play dates. So like you at this age that you're at now, you have to invest in yourself. It goes back to like identity capital. And you have to make an effort to make those connections because you don't want to be like middle-aged and
I have no friends. I have no life.
Yes. You want to do middle-aged right because I feel like it can be super dope if you do it right.
Definitely.
It's like, yes.
You have to keep those connections. Keep those
you
connections.
Can do it right.
Have plans, travel, do everything that you couldn't do because you were so focused on your kids,
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. But yeah, so our other topic, so Abbott Elementary, I think is getting a lot of buzz. A lot of people are liking it. So basically Abbott Elementary is a sitcom on ABC. A lot of people are watching it on like Hulu. I am, Gabby. I think you are.
I am.
And basically it is, just to give like a little overview, it's about teachers in the Philadelphia public school, and it's basically an underprivileged school, and the teachers are having to go above and beyond in some instances to really like put an effort to, making sure these kids get educated. Now, specifically, there was like a scene in like the first one where like, what's her name? Cheryl Lee Ralph. She like was one of the teachers, Barbara, and she like went and said, she was like, look, sometimes we have to be these kids' second parent, and sometimes even their first. you know, in some instances we have to go above and beyond. So basically the show is really good. Gabby, what are your thoughts so far? I know you've been watching.
Yes, I have so many thoughts on the show. I love it so much. And probably because I have a lot of experience working in schools. I worked as a toddler teacher for a few years. I also worked as a director of a language immersion school. And when I tell you, like, the experience that they have in the show is almost exact as to what happens in real life. It's just, of course, it's a little exaggerated on the show, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Like, there was this scene in the show that I'm a little sensitive. Like, I was getting teary-eyed.
Really?
It was a scene. Yes, it was a scene in the show where they needed new rugs for the classroom, which is very similar to real life, because the rug in the classroom is essential to young children in school. And I had the same experience when I was a director of the school. All the teachers needed new rugs. But the rug in the school, they didn't have one. They had to throw it away because it was filthy. And they, for some reason, they just could not get a new rug. And there was a scene with the little boy. Yeah, that's what happened. There was this little boy. It was lunchtime, and there was this little boy laying in the classroom on the floor. And Quinta, the main character of the show, was like, that little boy doesn't get sleep at home because his family life is crazy. Parents always fighting. So he always comes to school, and during lunch, he takes a nap on that rug because he says it's comfortable. And there was no rug, so he was just in there laying on the floor. And when I tell you I got teary-eyed, I'm just like, oh, okay. I thought this was a comedy.
Yes. And that is like, I think that's the beauty of this show. And like comedy, when they do it well, like it does bring light to a lot of like areas that you're like, wait a second, we need to fix this. Like a lot, it definitely shines a light on the fact that public school, in especially like in underprivileged areas, there are a lot of blind spots. And a lot. Yeah, it brings that to light for sure. And I think more needs to be done for sure.
It has a way of like taking these tragic situations but making you laugh at them, which when you say it out loud, you're like, okay, laughing at tragic situations doesn't sound the best, but I mean, hey, sometimes you have to laugh instead of cry. And it also brings light to these, it brings light to these issues too. I have some other thoughts, but did you have anything you wanted to add?
No, go ahead.
Okay. There's this other scene, I can't remember what episode, but it showed Quinta and her boyfriend. This really stuck out to me because I'm like, why am I laughing at the fact that her boyfriend is a bum? I know, right? It was so cringy. Like, she had like a breakfast sandwich, and she hadn't eaten breakfast yet, but her boyfriend was like, oh, I'm hungry. She was like, you want my sandwich? He was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. She was like, yeah, I'll just grab lunch inside. And then she's like, did you see the bill that I put on the refrigerator? He's like, oh yeah, I saw it. She's like, are you gonna take a look at it? He was like, eventually. No. He was like, oh, he was too busy like working on his rap career, and he would be like rapping in the car, and she'd be like, yes, I love it. And I'm just like,
no. You're like, baby, get out.
Get up, stand up, get up.
Leave him. Man.
But she has a way of making it so funny.
Yes. And then, yes, the actress, she like what was her name? Let me double check.
Quinta?
You said Quinta Brunson. Her character is Janine. Her name is Quinta. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Quinta is hilarious. And she just like her personality and like that she puts into that character is just such a joy. She is the little light of that show. And I think just everybody can attest to, having a terrible situation, and you have somebody that's so cheery that you can't help but like enjoy yourself at least a little bit in that awful situation. And I love that they put her in there. Love that show.
Talented queen.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Do I have anything else to add about it? I love Cheryl Lee's character. She was just somebody who did what they had to do in order to make the classroom flow. She had all her students in line, single file. She's been doing this for years. She doesn't even need the resources. She gives the children so much life. Mm-hmm. It makes them feel like they have everything, even though they don't have a lot of the things mm-hmm. that other schools might have. So I really appreciated her character.
Yes, I agree. Her character that's just so real. I think we can all like remember having, well, hopefully you guys as well, but I know I remember having some good Black teachers like her when I was growing up. And those are some of my most memorable teachers. Just like the women, that just goes to show how Black women can really be. But like just having those teachers that just like, half the stuff in that classroom, they bought with their little bitty with their little bitty teacher paycheck. Mm-hmm. You can tell that they just go above and beyond. And like she said, like they can sometimes be like a second parent and a first parent to some people. Like it, mm-hmm. Even though I had some great parents, like I still really, really, really appreciated having like those Black teachers that I did have.
Because teachers are like your second parent. You're with them almost just as much, if not even more than you are with your actual parents. And teachers don't get enough thanks. They don't get enough pay. They work with they do amazing things with what they have. Mm-hmm. My child's teacher, if I could give her the world, I would. She gets great Christmas gifts. I can tell you that, because thank you.
Yes, like you can't thank these teachers enough. The ones that really, even some of the like lazier ones, you like they still doing what they supposed to do. And then it just makes me think about this. Somebody made a video. It's pretty old. This lady, she was school shopping. I don't know, mm-hmm. Maybe you sent me this, Gabby, but this girl, she was school shopping for her kids, and she was just like going down the list, like, okay, she said she want this, I'm gonna get her this. The teacher said she want this, I'm gonna get her this. Okay, I'm gonna get her this. And she was like, man, these teachers, I need to be happy. I'm so happy that we starting school back, because these teachers, they be working hard for your kids. They got them all day and they can't even hit your kids. Like, that is real. Like, you need to appreciate these teachers. Yes, that is so seriously real.
And I lost my train of thought. It doesn't matter. It's just teachers, thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. You do God's work. You deserve to be getting paid at least $100K. Like, honestly.
No, really. Way
It's underpaid. Like you are raising the future. It shows how much we don't value education. The people who are leading our future generation are getting paid like pennies sometimes.
That's a scary thought.
It's ridiculous.
It really is. And then we're not even going to talk about the people that are above them. Like, I can't tell you how many stories I've heard about administration embezzling. Girl. In multiple school districts, not specific ones, but like not like one or two, like over and over and over again.
Administration in these schools is what makes these schools terrible a lot of the time. And you see that in Abbott Elementary. The principal, absolutely. Ridiculous. And the way she keeps hitting on what's his name in the show, Gregory, something like that.
Everybody hates Chris.
Yeah, she is funny. She is hilarious. I wish I knew her name.
She plays that character well. She does. I'm gonna pull it up. What is her name on here? Because I had the whole cast up. Okay, so the principal is Ava Coleman. The actress is Janelle James. She's funny.
Janelle, you did that. I remember what I was going to say earlier. I feel like parents really started appreciating teachers when the Panera Bread hit. I'm going to stop saying the other P word because I think They like to flag your videos on YouTube if you say that word.
Ooh.
So we're just gonna say Panera Bread, pandemonium, whatever P word you can think of. When the pandemonium hit, parents recognized how much work these teachers were putting in every single day. They were like, dear God, please, I'll pay whatever I need to pay, but please take my children back. You need us to wear back. And I'm confused on why these parents didn't want their kids wearing masks to school, because I'm like, my children can wear a bee suit. I don't care.
Please go. Or like, I am getting a free break. I mean, depending on what school, you're like, I am getting a break. Like, please take these babies back. And then it's like also the fear of them not like getting all of the education they need because they're out of school for so long. So much happened, yeah. But
so much.
Yes. So yeah, just to kind of wrap this one up, guys, basically make sure you are making those connections. Make sure you are putting that effort in so that you don't look at your life in 10, 15, 20 years and you're like, oh my God, I have not made any connections, because that's what's really important in life. Like, making those connections is probably the most important thing that you can do.
Connecting with others, for sure.
Absolutely. And then also
connecting with yourself too. I want to put that in there. Connecting with yourself and others.
Connecting with yourself is very important as well. You got to learn who you are, yeah. Learn who you are out here. It's important. Yes. And then also, if you get a chance, go ahead and watch ABC's Abbott Elementary. Good watch. Funny. You also get some good nuggets of like heartwarming moments, as Gabby said.
Yes.
But yeah, super easy watch as well.
I think it's only like 4 episodes out right now.
Yeah. That's
so
right.
I'm excited for more.
Me too. But that's it, guys. We'll see you next time.
Talk to you later. Bye.